Hello everybody, I'm Dane Campbell. Welcome back to Change with Dane. This is being recorded on the 15th of December 2025, and you've reached a channel where we talk about change. Simple steps and considerations for making changes in thought and behavior. If you've been here before, welcome back. If this is your first time, and you're interested in learning my ideas for how to make simple, lasting changes in your life, whether it's the way that you think about things or the things that maybe you do or don't do that you feel you need to change to bring greater peace and success into your life, step back to the beginning, and I give you some step-by-step ideas about how to change and do things different, so that hopefully you can get closer to having the life that you desire. So Christmas is coming up, and before we get talking about that, I would ask you if you could please subscribe and please like if you do like this content. That helps to get greater visibility of this material out to people who may be wanting to find ideas and ways to change in their life. So thank you for doing that. So when you watch this, I guess it'll be about 1 week before Christmas 2025 hits, and I wanted to talk a little bit about change in tradition. Change in doing or not doing some of the things maybe you feel are important or would like to implement, or maybe you're questioning whether it really is important to do all of the things that go into your Christmas. I know that a lot of people struggle because they have sheets and sheets of things to do on their to-do list to try to make a happy Christmas for people around them and for themselves. And I would like to give you permission to critically take a look at those things on your list and ask yourself, is it really necessary to do all those things to have a happy Christmas? Is it really necessary to experience such a high cost of doing so much, and what that really brings to you? The stress, the difficulty, the challenges that we sometimes put ourselves under this time of year to have it done the right way, if I could put the right way in air quotes. I think it's time that we critically look at all of the things that go in to this and other celebrations throughout our lives, and decide if we get the desired response or get the desired effect by the incredible amount of time, energy, and money that gets put in to these situations, and how helpful it really is. I'm going to give you a little snippet from my life about a change in tradition, and how I've been thinking a lot about tradition based upon this event. And perhaps this will help you as you critically look at some of the things that you feel must get done to have a happy Christmas. I grew up in a very small, tiny place, and our Christmases were pretty prescribed, some by the culture, some by the religion, some by family. But it was the tradition every year on the 24th, Christmas Eve, to have the town gather for a Christmas celebration. And that Christmas celebration consisted of the primary, which was the organization in the church that I grew up in. To the primary was the children's organization. So from I guess about 3 or 4 years old to 11, 12. Kids would be in primary. They'd be assigned to different classes in the primary. And on Sundays, you would have your primary lesson. And during the week, there would be a primary activity where you would get together and sing songs in the opening exercises, and then you would do a primary activity with your class. And this happened week in and week out. And when December would roll around, the primary kids would get together and we would practice what most of the world comes to know as the Nativity, with the angels and the wise men and Joseph and Mary, the whole shebang. We would dress up and people would do their parts. And then once you did the Nativity, Santa would visit. And so all the kids in town would have a chance to sit on Santa's lap and tell him what they wanted for Christmas. And then you would get treats, people would talk and visit for a little while, and then families would go home, and hopefully, if you were good, Santa would visit you. And the next morning, you would open your presents. So the tradition was that the Nativity would be done, but there was a tradition within the tradition. And generally, the oldest boy in primary, when they would reach that last year that they would be in primary, when they would be 11, they would get the opportunity to be Joseph in the Nativity. This was a highly sought after role in the Nativity. Why? Because you walked in, you looked pompous and fatherly, and you stood there alongside Mary, looking down at the doll that was dressed up to play baby Jesus, and you said nothing. You didn't have to learn a part, because Joseph, he doesn't speak, right? There's no words from him to share in the Nativity. And so that's why you look forward. You put on your bathrobe, your headgear, and you just went and stood there. Best part ever as an 11-year-old, right? So the time came for me to have the opportunity to be Joseph. And the president of the primary, the woman who sort of led and organized the classes and the teachers and all things primary, she had this grand idea that I would not get to be Joseph, but I would have to play the part of a Book of Mormon prophet who would stand before the true Nativity began and say my lines as a prophecy and be dressed up in a goat skin and blah, 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 whatever. And I would have to memorize 3 or 4 verses of scripture and give my prophecy as a new piece to what had always been the traditional Nativity. When I heard this, I came unglued, which is not the right response for a Mormon boy. You're supposed to accept the callings, the assignments, and all things that your leaders give you with strict obedience and just go ahead and do it. But I wanted to live the tradition. I did not want to learn a lot of scripture, dress up like the prophet, do the whole big quote. I knew I could, but I just didn't want to. And so I complained to my parents, I complained to my primary teacher, I complained to the primary president. I was hot under the collar, miffed, and I did not want to do this. And my mom, bless her heart, she eventually helped me to accept and understand and do the thing, even though I didn't want to. But I did it begrudgingly, and the tradition was broken. Now, I'd like to say I learned great things from this. I'd like to say that it was very gratifying to do the part. I'd like to say that it made me a better person, but I don't think it did. What it did do, though, was it helped me to understand that sometimes traditions may not be that important. It helped me to understand that sometimes I was placing huge meaning and impact on the need for tradition when maybe it didn't need to be there. And this change actually helped me in a very, very small way to develop some critical thinking when it came to all of the things that needed to happen in life for there to be peace and happiness. Because sometimes maybe those things that we're doing isn't really bringing us what we think they need to bring us or what we think they will bring us. So I know I've talked a lot about self-care in the past few weeks. I've talked about the goodness and some of the difficulties in change. I want to just give you permission to look at all the things that you've got to do between now and the 25th of December and ask yourself about the necessity of those things. Ask yourself about the stress that comes from them. Ask yourself if it is truly worth it. And if it is, by all means, get her done. Because that's what you do as a person, right? You do what needs to get done. But if it doesn't, if those things don't make sense, if those things are simply add-ons that are making you more stressed and tired and anxious, maybe it's time to just let some of those things go. Have the discussion with the family and ask them, is this really meaningful to you? Do we need to keep this up? Maybe ask them what they really want. I know there have been things that we've done in our family that our children have eventually gotten us to realize they really aren't that important to them. And so can we do something that makes more sense for everybody? Please embrace change, even if it's in traditions. Please take care of yourself. And please, as you prepare for Christmas, do those things that build you up, that take care of you, that take care of those around you. And I wish you a very, very happy holidays as you go into the next few days, hoping that you will find the time and the peace that I think this season should be all about. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and please like, and I'll see you on Christmas. Take care.